Well, well, well. Who would have thought that a tiny YouTube channel with less than 3,000 followers could start changing people's viewpoint on something? That could start making people see what was really happening. Strange, isn't it? So, finally, after 417 videos, a video has reached an audience of reasonable size, 60,000 views. That has brought about 700 subscribers to the channel because they hadn't seen that anywhere before. They'd never seen it presented that way before. Why is that? Because nowhere else is presenting it that way, and therefore people don't see it that way. You have the mainstream media all following the same narrative, and then you get the fluff YouTube channels, right? These ones with 1 million subscribers, so they must be authentic, right? They must be authentic. 1 million subscribers parroting the same narrative. And I'll do some more on this Red Bull sword swallower at some point as well, because he is just paid to parrot the Red Bull narrative, I guarantee it. So if you look at what has taken place here, if I go on to, I'll show you what my channel is all about. This channel, if you've just subscribed to this channel off the back of seeing that BBC video, which, by the way, many people didn't even pick up on the fact that Andrew Benson has not said that. Andrew Benson, the BBC's F1 chief correspondent, has never revealed what that video contains. That was a clickbait thumbnail, and because people believed it to be coming from an authentic source that they believe the information. If it's not coming from an authentic source, oh, that's got to be a conspiracy theory. Oh, the BBC has said it. That's true. Martin Brundle said it. That's true. Oh, just some guy, just some voice on YouTube has said it. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. People's minds are conditioned. But what I'd like, hopefully, those of you that have seen it and watched it all the way through, you'll see how important it is. You'll see what it reveals. It says what it says because that's the evidence of it actually taking place. I'm just explaining that what they're saying, this is the reality of it. They're gaslighting you. They're lying to you. What they are saying is not true. That's not in accordance with the rules. They don't tell you the rules. They're lying about the rules. The information you're being fed, all the interjections from F1 TV, it's a contrivance. And yet who says that? That's the way it works. So, if you want, record that video, download it, upload it to your own YouTube channel, get it out there. The more people that see this, the better. Okay? If your channel can make money out of doing it, fine. Good luck to you. This isn't about me. This isn't about making money. This channel, as it says in my description up here, lost my cursor. Can't even see where are we? There. As I said, can I enlarge that? Have a read about it. I set the channel up to expose corruption. That's what it's about. I'm not really interested in the fluff F1 content. Really not. The only times that I produce videos for that is just to try to get the channel out there to get a bigger audience, so that bigger audience could see the corruption through my other videos. But that's the situation. 417 videos produced. And I know that people aren't going to come here and trawl through them 417 and what each of those actually expose. So I'm going to have to go through and represent some of that information. The stuff that I know and the evidence that I've not even put onto videos yet. I'm trying to get a bigger audience before I release some of the stuff. So that's the situation. But I'll show you what it is that are the analytics on this channel. So if I go to my videos and it comes up with this screen here, and this will tell you, so that video, 60,000 views, 1,069 comments. I apologise that I've not responded to any of those comments. Trying to respond to that many I just don't have the time. And then we've got 1,843 likes. Well, mostly I don't even get 1,843 views, let alone 1,843 likes. But we've got the likes versus the dislikes. So we've got 121 people that don't like it. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. I'm sorry if your desires are that you like young Maxwell Verstappen. I want Max to win, and therefore I don't like anything that says that Max doesn't win. Okay, that's what you like. That's what motivates you. Okay, this isn't about that. It's not about what you like and what you think in the comment section. It's about what's real and what's true. Okay, so I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. I know that many of you that are the dislikers, you subscribe to this channel to try and muffle the channel. You try and strangle it, don't you? You try and suppress the content. You come here to click the dislike in the hope that you can defeat the YouTube algorithm so that YouTube doesn't recommend the video to anybody so it doesn't get seen. And so far, you know, you've done a decent job, but I've kept you here. There's a reason that I'm keeping you here. Okay? There's many reasons, actually. But this is all part of the dynamic. This is all part of the dynamic of how they're doing this. So we've got, this is like the videos that I've put out. The list is endless, it seems. If I then go on to analytics and it comes up with this screen, you can see that within the last, what is it? 28 days is this screen at the moment. Estimated revenue, that video alone has made about 100 something quid in revenue, advertising revenue. The adverts that are attached to that video paid me, the YouTuber, revenue. And that's what that money has raised. That is going into the pot to pay court fees, not legal fees. Legal fees are when you pay a lawyer to create you an argument. I don't need a lawyer to create me an argument. I've just got facts. You won't beat facts. Okay, I can present the facts, I can break them down. You won't beat them. There is no way that you can say, oh, well, legally, that doesn't mean that. Fuck off, right? You just won't beat me. So, this is the situation. Apologise for the language, but when I start thinking about people creating corrupt arguments, it really angers me. So this is the situation for what it is for the last 28 days. And if I go to, let's go the last year. So if you look at this channel's progress over the course of the last year, you have some videos which get a few views, you know, 4,000 on some, or 4,000 views in a day or something along there. And then all of a sudden, we've hit our first big spike. Now, think of a cardiogram when somebody's flatlining and we're starting to see the first signs of life. We're starting to see the first sign of life. But we're going to get that heart beating again. And when it does, our collective hearts are going to make this thing fire up. Okay? And in the meantime, we've just got to keep pumping away to the tune of Staying Alive to make this thing kick into gear again. And we're going to breathe life back into both this sport and our lives by removing the corrupt narrative that we're all being fed. Because this goes far beyond Formula One. Far beyond Formula One. People are beginning to wake up. It's videos such as the last one where people, the number of comments where it's like, wow, I knew it was fixed, but I just didn't see it being like this. But once you start seeing it, then you start seeing it. And then you start seeing what it is they're doing to you in everything. You'll just watch the news and you'll realise what bullshit they're coming out with on the news. You'll see that the narrative that they're coming and what's really going on, but how they're presenting it to us so that we accept it. I'm focusing on Formula One just as the example, because this is a clear example which you can easily evidence because we know the truth. Most of these things, they're hidden. We don't know, what deals are being done in back rooms somewhere and who ultimately is making billions. This, they did it in front of our eyes. They did it in front of a global audience. And they made a lot of money out of it. And I'll show you that as well. There's lots of videos to come where it's going to open people's eyes. What I request from you is that you help. Okay, you help by sharing the content, and if you can click, I don't normally ask for this, but if you can click the thumbs up to like, whether that will help the algorithm and whether that will mean YouTube recommends these videos to more people, hopefully. And if you are, if you've only seen a few of the videos and not clicked subscribe yet, if you can click subscribe, again, this is the nature of things, in as much that if people see a YouTube channel and it's only got 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, they don't believe it. If it's got 1 million subscribers, they believe what's coming out on there. Oh, that must be authentic. That's got 1 million subscribers. Oh, that's only got 2,000 subscribers. We're not sure whether that's true or not. People don't assess the reality, they don't assess the information. They determine whether or not they believe what is actually being presented by whether or not they believe in the person presenting it. So if you've got a YouTube channel yourself and you've got a nice voice or a pretty face, make these videos yourself, because people will believe you more than they'll believe me. Okay, so just get the information out there. Get the information out there. So ultimately, this is the progress of the channel so far. That's saying 907 quid in advertising revenue. So we're nearly up to £1,000, and I think we're going to need about 10 grand for court fees. But as you can see over the lifetime of the video, because I only became monetized in July of last year, so it's about a year. So, but it's not going to take 10 years, because all it's going to take is a few videos which spike like this, a few videos which do reach a lot more people, and all of a sudden, this is going to explode. That's what's going to happen. So let's keep pushing. Please share the content. And hopefully, it won't take as long before I can get another video to do something similar, and another one to do something similar. And this thing will spark into life. And there will be no hiding place for this sport. There will be no hiding place for the corrupt entities that have perpetrated all this. Now, before I end this video, I have done this video in the past. People will have seen it. But I need you to consider this. 2 seconds. Just finding the right tab. I've got a few open. As some people commented in the last video, I produce a video and the comment that you get is, oh, that's a lot of tabs that are open. Wonderful insight. Anyway, this one. A month after the Abu Dhabi farce, Sky Sports decided that they needed to make a programme to convince the world to accept it, because the day after, Martin Brundle, so the 13th of December, Martin Brundle produced a 9-minute long interview that I've broken down several times, and I'll do that again, asking people to move on. He thought that that's how it was, and it's time to move on now. This was on the Monday, the very next day, and people didn't. And so, because people weren't, Sky Sports had to create a programme to explain it all to everybody. So this one is on, they actually put it out on Sky Sports F1. It probably went out on other Sky Sports TV channels. And it's also on their YouTube channel. You can go to their YouTube channel and actually watch it yourself, the whole thing. I've broken the whole thing down in loads of parts. And just in the same way that I've broken down the commentary, broken down all the bullshit that they are saying now. All the lies that they are coming out with now, and breaking it down. So it's an hour and 13 minutes of validation. It's probably about an hour, because they then break into looking forward to the 2022 season at that stage. They've got 776,000 subscribers. They are Sky Sports F1. They are an authentic broadcaster. They're going to tell you the truth, is what people think. And they produce this show. 1.3 thousand people like it from 101,000 views. So that's about 1% of people like this. What does that show you? That shows you that 99% of people either can't be bothered to react or don't agree with it. So the strap-on fanboys that come to my channel and click the dislike button, there were, what, 1,700, 1,800 people that have clicked the, yeah, we agree with that, to your 100 that don't. You're in the minority of less than 10% of people that think that it's okay. You like it. Maybe you should self-reflect, because there's a problem. There's a big problem. But I just want to play you something from this. Okay, a small amount of this, just so you can see the dynamics. I'll make it full screen for you. So they do this validatory program. We have, the good-looking Simon Lazenby, the anchor man. You know, not missing any letters out of that word. He's presenting and he's asking the experts and former drivers, you know, these people that know what they're talking about, that can fully explain the sport to you, break down the rules of the sport and explain, especially now 1 month on after we've had the chance to analyse it, break down exactly what happened and can explain it to you all. This is what they're able to produce. Bearing in mind that 3 days after this, I put onto Facebook, social media, quite simply, you cannot separate out two competitors in a multi-competitor event and set them off to race off for victory. That argument alone means that any other argument is obliterated. That argument alone would win any court case. So I could do that, and I'm not a former Formula One driver. You don't know what I am. You don't know what my experience is. You don't know what levels of knowledge and all the things I've done in my life. Okay, but I could work that out. Strange that is, isn't it? Strange. Anyway, let's have a look at this.
To start with, though, I'm joined by Martin Bundle, Johnny Herbert and Damon Hill. And the first thing that we want to say that this is not a programme designed to take anything away from Max Verstappen and Red Bull, a worthy world champion. Over the course of the year in 22 races, Max led 652 laps.
Wow, this programme isn't to take anything away from Red Bull and Max. Max led 652 laps. Whoopie-doo. Do you know what? In a Formula One season, let's say it's 20 races, and let's say each race is 50 laps long. One lad could lead 49 laps of each of those 20 races and finish second in the championship. Because all it takes is for somebody else to overtake them on the last lap, win the race, collect the points, which is what you need to do, and be the champion. Oh, but this is not to take anything away from Max. Max led 600 odd laps. Don't care. It's irrelevant.
To Lewis's 303, led the championship for 15 of the 22 races.
Wow.
His team made the right calls at the right time, and he also...
To who? Who did they make these calls to?
...had his fair share of bad luck. We want to get...
Oh, and Max had some bad luck. You had no luck, Max. You had no luck. You fully deserved it. We all heard that.
Get right into it, though, and go back to where we started. Lewis said it was manipulated. Was it? And Martin, was what happened in Abu Dhabi one of the greatest sporting injustices?
Was it manipulated? Let me know what you think in the comment section. This is the approach that they take. Let's get the interaction from people, and let's see people arguing in the comment section, rather than just say, hey, this is what's happening here. Can you all see it? Let me explain to you so you can see what's really going on here. Was it?
Of all time.
It was a great shame for Formula One. We had all eyes on us, and then...
Yes, you did, and you knew you would.
And it was clumsy.
You manufactured all eyes on you by creating this tight championship battle, by facilitating what Max Verstappen was allowed to get away with all season.
confused people. It upset the fans.
It confused people. What's confusing about sport? Not a lot, really. Sport's fairly straightforward. This is the sport. This is how it's contested. Oh, I'm confused. Well, we'll just explain what's allowed and what's not, what the rules are. It's not that hard. That's the game of sport.
Start accusing people of fixing big events or manipulating, you need to have some very good evidence or
Yep, we've got all that, Martin. Got all that.
Some good lawyers around.
you need a good lawyer, yeah. Law. The difference between right and wrong in the context of a given situation that you can evidence with evidence and truth. Okay, and you need a good lawyer, not a bad lawyer. Yeah. The varying quality of a lawyer depends on whether or not justice can be achieved or not. Strange. Oh, if you're going to accuse this thing of being rigged, you need a good lawyer. No, I don't, Martin. No, I can just evidence that it's rigged. I can evidence that you're part of it, Martin, because you're lying. Okay, you are gaslighting people and you are diverting people's attention. There is nothing authentic about what took place. I don't need a good lawyer to demonstrate that. I can do that. Oh, but legally you don't know how to make the legal argument. I don't need to make an argument. I can just present facts and that demonstrates truth. Simple, isn't it? And anybody that wants to put a legal argument against that, can you disprove what I've said? No, you can't. So what you're going to do is try and construct a lie, a narrative to try to evade consequence for fixing a sporting event. That's all you're going to try to do. But I won't let you, because I'll just debunk anything that you come up with. I've set the troll challenge. One of my other videos. I'm going to come up with another one soon. Anybody that can create a video to demonstrate that I'm wrong about any of this, do so. And I'll break it down. And we'll see if you're right. And if you are right, I will hold my hands up. I will admit I've got something wrong. But it's all gone quiet. Nobody's presented anything. Strange that. You've all got your comments in the comments section. Oh, you're not believing my facts. No, because you don't have any. Oh, this is just lies. That's a comment, yeah, but you've not countered anything I've ever said. Oh, but I think, but you don't know.
I don't think it was. I don't think there was time in the chaos that was the last few laps of that race.
Chaotic, wasn't it? There's bound to be a couple. I don't think it's mandatory in the regulations that they have to release the lap cars, but that's normally on a wet day. Chaos, that is, Martin, isn't it? They will let any lapped cars go. It's amazing that you could read it out in accordance with the wordings of the regulations. Chaos.
To sit down and think about who do I want to win this race. I think it was.
It's that chaotic. We couldn't sit down and think, who do we want to win the race? Not that we'd been tuning in to watch Lewis Hamilton potentially kind of mark a place in history by becoming an 8-time world champion. There wasn't time in all the chaos to think of anything like that, was there?
An avalanche of information and
that sounds like an avalanche of bullshit to me, Martin.
Requests and decisions coming from race control, and mistakes were made. I think we ended up with a hybrid fast track version of the regulations.
That's it. We didn't get the regulations, the rules, the sports rules that are there for a purpose. Instead, we got a hybrid fast track version of them. Thanks for that, Mark. What's one of those then? What's a hybrid? We didn't get the rules of football applied in the Euros final. We got a hybrid, fast-tracked version of them. Thanks for that, Martin. The expert of the sport. What's a hybrid, fast-tracked version? Oh, legally, you wouldn't know.
with a cloak over it of we've kind of agreed we don't really want races to finish under the safety car.
With a cloak over it that the teams had agreed that the final would be settled with a penalty shootout. They would manipulate the game so that it ended with a draw at the end of full time and extra time, just to create that grandstand finish of a penalty shootout. Well, that's sport manipulation. That's rigging an outcome. Oh, but that's just the cloak over it, isn't it, Martin? That's just the cloak.
Or the red flag. And of course, that's wrong, and mistakes were made on the evening. How you then unravel that? Because
how do you unravel that? Well, you say, well, the rules were broken clearly by restarting racing. Firstly, the procedure that has to be carried out prior to any resumption of racing is that all of those lapped cars need to be released. Only 5 were. So that regulation was never carried out in full. And then on from that, that safety car would have had to have remained on track for a further lap, and it was brought straight back in. That then meant a resumption to racing that was illegal. Prior to that rule breaking, Lewis Hamilton was leading that race, had a 12-second lead prior to the crash. The crash caused a situation which was a safety concern which needed dealing with. The reality is it wasn't possible to resume racing in accordance with the regulations. The fact is, nobody can overtake during a safety car period, and therefore that order that they were running in during that safety car period is the result of that race. What is evidenced is that Lewis Hamilton completed that race duration of 58 laps. He is the valid race winner. That's how you unravel it, Martin. It's not difficult, is it? It's not difficult.
Because Red Bull didn't do anything wrong, nor did
Red Bull, they had nothing to lose. They didn't do anything wrong.
Ferrari in third place with Carlos Sainz, for example. That's the problem.
Ferrari didn't do anything wrong. That's the problem. How do you unravel that? Well, were Ferrari running around in third place after Perez's mysterious retirement, which handed the constructors' title to Mercedes? Yeah, Ferrari didn't do anything wrong. How do you unravel that? Well, they were running around in third behind the safety car, finishing third in that race, getting a podium, getting those red overalls on the podium for when the world is seeing these pictures. So at least the Ferrari's ranking up there alongside the other competitors, so they get their bit of publicity. How do you unravel that? Well, what's there to unravel? Red Bull retired Perez, Sainz is third. They've then broken the rules. The declared result is, well, this is the point you broke the rules. This is the end result of the race. Lewis Hamilton first, Max Verstappen second, Carlos Sainz third. Oh, but how do you unravel that? Well, what's there to unravel, Martin?
But I do not believe, knowing the people, that there was malice involved from race control.
Okay.
I don't believe you, Martin, because the decisions of the season indicated malice from FIA race control.
Okay, I mean, it's the same question to all of you, really. Damon, I'll come to you next on this. There are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there.
Oh, there are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. So the people that are conspiring to validate the fraud want to project, oh, those of you out there that are skeptical of us, you're just the conspiracy theorists. We're the ones that shouldn't be believed. Believe the authentic Sky Sports. Because yous lot are saying that something's amiss here. You're just conspiracy theorists. We'll undermine you. We'll discredit you. We'll make everybody think that you're the ones that are crazy. You just believe us. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing.
Do you feel that everything was done fairly on behalf of the FIA?
I think that obviously the Lewis Hamilton fans feel very aggrieved.
Damon, the question is, was it fair? I didn't say, will Lewis Hamilton fans think this, or will Max Verstappen think that? It's not about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and what their different sets of fans will think, this, that, and the other, different opposing sides. It's what happened, what are the regulations, what's allowed to happen? Is it right or not? It's not how Lewis and his fans will think and Max and his fans will think. That's irrelevant.
And Lewis Hamilton may well do and Mercedes do, that the way the decision went disadvantaged them and they felt robbed.
No. It wasn't that Mercedes feel that they were robbed. The situation is that race could not have been resumed. There's a safety concern. It needs to be dealt with. The race director used his discretion to choose to deal with that safety concern by utilising the safety car. As soon as you deploy the safety car, as soon as you've made that choice to deal with that situation using the safety car, then the safety car regulations kick in. Okay, the safety car on track, now we follow the safety car regulations. Safety car regulations are such that it will pick up the lead car, the cars will bunch behind the leader, and that safety car snake will continue lapping until that safety concern is dealt with. If there are no lapped cars in that event at that stage, the safety car will remain on track until the leader is behind it and all of the other cars are bunched up behind the safety car. That's the regulations. I think that's 48.8, something like that. So that demonstrates that when you've intervened with a race using the safety car to deal with a safety incident, then it neutralises racing and it effectively nullifies all of the advantages that had been previously built up. All of them previously built up gaps get wiped out. We've got this snake of cars, first down to last, in the correct race order. That is what the safety car causes. If there are lapped cars in place, then what it's done, it's skewed things, because if the leader has just come by somebody, let's say the leader has just come by 10th place, a point scoring position, and let's say the leader has just lapped 11th place, and 11th is trying to challenge for 10th, a point scoring position, a championship point. But safety car comes out, safety car picks up the leader, 10th position, who might have only been a second or two up the road, just within the clutches of the leader. The leader was in the process of almost lapping them, but then there's a safety concern. 10th place disappears off around the track and ends up joining the back of the safety car snake. 11th place has to stay behind the leader until the situation is dealt with, the track is declared safe, and then they carry out the regulation. That being, the lapped cars get released, and then the safety car remains on track for at least a further lap to enable those released cars the opportunity to catch the back of the pack. To achieve this safety car snake of first down to last, or the last running competitor, all in the correct race order, so that all of those previously built up advantages have been nullified. That's all you're assessing this situation with regard to. Did that happen? No, it didn't. It is wrong. They set off racing before they did that. You're not allowed to do that. Damon here is in front of you saying, oh, well, Mercedes will think that it's wrong. Red Bull will think that it's right. It's not about what you think. It's about what is.
So there's a lot of ill feeling, obviously, in the Dutch camp. Of course, they're very happy with the result, but was it a satisfactory way of deciding a championship? You have to say it was unsatisfactory, and I think it might even have been unfair because
you think it might have been unfair. You think, not you can state as a matter of fact. You think it might. Okay, it's a fact that it was, but you think that it might. Thanks for your valuable insight, Damon Hill, former driver, former world champion, presented expert. That people will be educated by your views. Thanks for that, Damon. Validator.
Was if you look at it from the point of view of how the decision was made, it allowed some cars to unlap themselves, but not others. Now that.
Why and what's the purpose of that, Damon? Can you tell us? Tell us, Damon. See if you can articulate it as eloquently as myself.
That in itself is unfair.
Why is it unfair, Damon? We don't understand. None of us understand, because, you'd think Sky Sports F1 would make programmes explaining the rules of the sport to people, wouldn't you? Hey everybody, we want you to watch Formula One. This is what Formula One's all about. Now that doesn't happen, does it? That doesn't happen. Instead of saying to you, the safety car is there on the grounds of safety, and this is what happens if there's something that's a safety concern, racing's got to stop on the grounds of safety. And what the safety car does, it causes all the previously built up advantages to be wiped out. And if there's lapped cars in situ, this is how we do it. Okay? But they don't do that, and they don't show you that. And instead, it's like, safety car, safety car. Whoa! What's going to happen now, everybody? Oh, safety car! Anything can happen now! That's a bit strange, isn't it? A bit strange.
What it resulted with is a focus.
Fix is what it resulted in, Damon. Fix is the word you're looking for.
On the two title protagonists. And I don't think you can run a motor race or a championship like that. You have to apply the rules equally to all competitors.
Absolutely right, Damon. But, you couldn't identify that on the night, could you? Brundle and Crofty couldn't identify that. And then in the aftermath, when everybody's whooping and everybody's celebrating good times, come on, and all of the fireworks are going on, couldn't identify that.
Manipulated is a very strong word. I think it was in some
Fixed is stronger.
sense manipulated, because I think that Michael Massey, the race director, was under pressure to allow this exciting, thrilling race to happen between the two drivers, and I think he caved into pressure from both sides. But
wasn't just both sides. Who had a gun to Massey's head? You think Massey caved into pressure from both sides? So Mercedes were pressurising Massey to restart that race, were they? Oh, that's something new.
Possibly more from the attempt to let Max come through the field, and that's why he basically allowed only the cars between Max and Lewis to unlap themselves.
Yeah, that would be the reason, wouldn't it? Thanks for that, Damon. Thank you for your valuable insight. This is what we get. We get this presented, authentic broadcaster present validation, and people can't view through the bullshit. They just see that. They see this noise coming from these presented experts, and they have acceptance of it. This is entirely corrupt. But I'm going to expose more and more and more, and I just keep churning out the videos in the hope that one will do what the last one did, that will all of a sudden ignite this thing. Okay, so please, if we can just go back to here then, please help by, I'm going to put the thumbnail to this video at the end of this video. Please share it. If you've not already done so, please hit like to it. And because again, the way the nature of these things are, if people get a video recommended to them that's already got 60,000 views, already got 2,000 likes, then they start believing it. If it's only got 500 views and if it's only got 50 likes, they probably won't bother to watch it, or they might question whether or not to believe it. But what they do first, before they actually watch it, they read the comments and decide whether it's worth watching it by what's written in the comment section. Crazy shit. Let's not assess the information for ourselves. Let's decide whether or not this is true or not by whether or not we agree or whether or not somebody's commented and saying it's good or bad. The wonderful dynamics of the way people think they can learn something. Crazy. Anyway, thank you for your time on this one. Thank you to those of you that are the long-suffering supporters of this channel that have having to put up with some of the trolling that you get. To the new subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing. Please ignore the trolling. There's a reason that the trolling comments aren't being deleted and that the trolls aren't being blocked. They don't know it yet. You'll probably work it out for yourself, some of the more intelligent ones of you. But please keep supporting the cause. If you believe that justice needs to be done, and I'm sure that if you're here, most of you do, a good 90% of you do, then hopefully you'll understand the true importance of this and what hopefully the difference that exposing this will make. So please help by sharing the content, trying to get it to as big an audience as possible, hoping that either this video or future videos can do the same thing. All right, take off, make more people aware, make more people see, and eventually we will start reaching the kind of audience which means there is no hiding place for that corruption. Thank you very much for your time.